Well, welcome to the mud shop. This is Diana's mud shop. I'm going to try to do a little demonstration on how to roll lace into clay and make a platter with it. I have rolled out on my slab roller to make this short. I went ahead and rolled it out. I think I do have a little short video on me using my Shimpo slab roller. I've rolled out about 5 pounds of clay. I'm going to be using this lace doily that I purchased from a store. It's really just a table placemat, and I've got a big wear board that I can put it on, because once I get it made, I'll leave it sitting flat. I won't fool with it until it's bone dry and ready to go in the kiln. I'm going to use, this is a GR Pottery Form 13 by 10 inch oval. Now this is what they call a wally. It's a little bit deeper in straight sides, so it'll make a deep platter. I've not used this form yet. I've used the ones that have a taper edge to make a platter. This will be more bowl-like, it'll be deeper. So here we go. My tools that I'll be using, just a regular rolling pin to roll the texture in. I'll be using my ribs, whatever ribs you use, to compress the clay, both sides. I've got a serrated rib that I use and some slip, because I do want to put a foot on it. Anything you have this big, you'll need an outside ring foot and an inside ring foot to kind of give it stability so the center does not sag. Other tools, I'll be using my clay knife. Okay, I had it out a minute ago, so of course I'll be using a sponge, and when I put the foot on, I'll be using just a regular little cheap paintbrush to kind of spread the slip. Here is a color shaper, just a rubber tip tool that I'll be using to smooth around. And I guess that's it. If I can find here's one sponge that I knocked on the floor, so maybe that's what happened to my clay knife. Here it is, hiding right before my eyes. Well, let's get started. Like I said, I just rolled this out, and I made sure that it's bigger than my lace, so that I can trim around it and have some extra for the foot. I'm going to compress this 2 different directions. That's diagonal, and I'll do this way, kind of circle around. Then I'll flip it, do the other side. Now this is about 3/8 of an inch deep, thick, the clay is. Here we go. All right, let me flip this carefully. Compress this side. And this is fresh rolled clay. I did not let it set. It is very hot in my studio, so it will stiffen up real quick. I'm also going to use a cushion. You can get one from just about anywhere. If you've got an old couch, you can pull the cushion out of part of the seat and save it, or just a piece of foam. But mine I got actually from Walmart in the craft section several years ago. They had them, and it was like $4 or something like that, but that's been 4 or 5 years ago. All right, now that I have my clay, I lift it up to release it off of the work board. I'm gonna lay my doily on it. You want the best lace side down so that you can roll it in. Okay. Spread it out so there's no wrinkles. All right, I'm going to use my rolling pin, kind of roll from the inside outward to get it stuck. I'm not pressing down hard enough to thin out the clay, but just enough to press this down into the clay, where the lace goes down into it. You can see the clay sticking up out of the little holes in it. Make sure you got a good pattern all the way, everywhere, especially the center. Sometimes you get the outside edge real well and the center is not printed out. All right, now if you don't have a rolling pin, you can use a pony roller, or you can press it in with your hands. But when you press it in with your hands, sometimes you don't get an even, smooth texture. You know, smoothness. It may be lumpy. You can use your rib. Make sure it's in well. All right. Make sure this little edge here got good. And now for the reveal. Okay, I'm going to raise this up so that you can see. It's pressed in real well. Now I'm going to grab a corner of it. Before I do that, I'm going to cut. Now I don't have a template around the edge. I'm just going to use the outside edge of the lace as my guideline where to cut. Now I'm cutting just a little bit away from it, not even 1/4 of an inch. Cut all the way around. I know you hear my machines running. On one side of the shop I've got an air conditioner going because it is 95 degrees outside, and on the other side of the shop I have my air purifier, which I keep on all the time. Okay, let me get a little closer here. Okay, now before I peel this away, I am going to go ahead and cut my foot. I use just a corn skewer and draw this through the clay, and it makes your perfect foot. Now I'm going to do several of these because I want to make sure I have enough to go all the way around the outside and then do a center foot also. Let's see. Here's the place. Pick up my excess clay and I'll recycle this. Get this one, part of the foot. Let me do a little more. Do one here. Okay. Get this up. And I'll moisten this so it doesn't dry out because it is hot in this studio. Very hot in here. Matter of fact, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay out here today. It just gets that hot. And South Mississippi is rough. Okay. Got another piece here. I'd rather have too much foot cut than not enough. Because once I wedge this up, I want it to be the same thickness everywhere. Let's see. Do another one here. That's a lot of foot, isn't it? I think that'll do. What I don't use, I can wedge back up. All right. So I got my feet, got this rolled out. You pick up around the edge. And I'll lift up the corner and show you what I have. Get around this corner better, clean it up some. Okay. All right, so now this is what we're looking at. Okay. Get my phone, which I keep stored here. Handy dandy piece of foam. It's about 4 inches deep. Well, almost 4 inches. It's close enough to call it 4 inches. I use one side for brown clay, one side for white clay. So I want the white clay side up. I'm going to lift this up carefully. You notice I'm leaving the lace on it because it does keep it from stretching, keeps it in place. I get this centered, right? Now I'm going to pull the lace up. Ta-da! And I'll leave the lace laying out where it will dry. Now, let me show you. You can see the texture on there. Okay. I am going to use a sponge to lightly clean up the edge before I form it. Because once I put it on the form, it'll be upside down. And I'll stamp it, but I don't want to fool with the edges until it sets up. Let's see. Okay. Now, I want to take my form. This is just, you can use a wooden plaque, you can use anything to give your shape. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this and get it centered. So you can see, these come this way some. You can use a ruler, whatever you want to. It's going to come this way some. Let's see. If you want to take your ruler, you can see it's a little over 3 inches on this side, a little over 3 inches on that side, 3.5 actually. So it needs to go that way just a tad. There we go. It's 2, 2, 2, 2. Uh-oh, gotta come this way. 2. And if you don't get it exactly even, you probably never tell it. Okay. Now, let's try this end again. 3.5. Okay, I think I'm ready. I love my little handy dandy magnetic ruler. All right, I'm just going to press down. Now it's going to come up around the sides. It's not going to come up and smooth go out. It'll be kind of wavy, you'll see. And then we're going to flip it over. Move this. Now I want something to set it on. Like a spacer. This will work. I want it up high. Okay. Let's see. Make this. I believe I kind of want these out to make the handle. All right. Now I'm going to take my Maker's Mark stamp. In, and now I'm going to do my feet. Let's see, my rib. Let me score around the outside edge. I'm going to turn this foot over, score the underside of it. All right, and get me some little bit of slip. Moisten this. Some people use magic water. Some people use vinegar water. I just use water mixed with the clay that I'm using. And the clay is real wet, so shouldn't have a problem. All right. And go ahead and slip this foot. Alrighty. Okay, get another piece, turn it over, score the underside. Put some slip on it. Okay, and here we go. All right, where the two cross, I'm going to make a diagonal cut. Remove those pieces. Slip and score in between. Okay, and the same on this side. Score in between. All right. Make sure I compress that down real well. Now, if this was round, I would put it on my wheel and compress the foot with a sponge, just like you would if you threw the bowl on the wheel. Okay. Right. Now for the inside, let's see, anything this, if it's 8 inches or more, I put a center foot on it. So this definitely needs one. So I don't want more than 4-inch span. So I'm going to put the foot, pick me out of place, try to get it as even as I can around. Got that scored. I'm going to get my bigger piece. I might be able to do it with just one. I'm going to wet my scoring tool. All right, I'm going to wet my, put a little bit of slip here where I scored the middle. And attach this foot. Where they meet, cut a diagonal cut, remove the end pieces, slip and score in between, and join them. Now I want to make sure that I smooth it all out. You need the score marks. All right. Compress down with my sponge. Make sure that foot is compressed. Clean it on the inside and out. I use my finger. You can use the paintbrush. You can use your rubber tip tool, however you like to smooth out your clay. There are many options. Most of the time my finger works the best. I've got good crooked fingers and they fit right in that curve. Okay. Now, if I would have used a regular diagonal form, I could just leave it like it is, come back in a few hours and lift it up off of the form. But since this is a straight-sided form, as your clay sets, your clay is shrinking. So it's a fine line between letting the sides flop back out. If you flip it over right now, it's just gonna do like, and you just have a plate. It'll mess up all you've done. But if you leave it too long, it's going to shrink up next to that form and be hard to get off. So it's a fine line in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it set for a few minutes and I'll keep a check on it, make sure. And as it starts to stiffen up a little bit, I'm going to flip it over and then I'm going to wrap some things around it. I've got foam that goes around the doors and windows. I buy this foam and I'll wrap it around this and it'll help keep it up. It'll keep it from flopping. But right now I can't, but I'll do that probably in about 10 or 15 minutes. And I'll post pictures on my Facebook, Dianna's Mud Shop on Facebook. And you'll see what it looks like when I get it turned out. And so that's how you make a lace textured bowl or platter using regular lace. Thank you for joining me in the mud shop, and watch for the pictures. Like and share my page, and click subscribe and you'll be notified when I put up a new video. Thanks for joining me. Bye.